I begin today by acknowledging the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, traditional custodians of the land on which this podcast is recorded today. Also pay respects to the elders past and present, and extend that respect to any other Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander people who may be listening today. This is Melanated in Melbourne, a podcast designed to give an insightful look into the Australian lifestyle from the lens of two Black American besties.
I'm Nicole.
And I'm Rashard.
And this is Melanated in Melbourne. You ain't gonna sing?
Oh, you just caught me off guard because we switched places. All right.
thought...
We'll do it again. We'll do it again.
I'm Nicole.
And I'm Rashard.
And this is Melanated in Melbourne.
Melanated in Melbourne.
Hey, come on, vocals. I'm gonna let it ride out too, just because it upsets Rashard.
I'll take that. It was for me, so I'm happy with it.
It was, exactly. We love the applause.
We do. We live for the applause.
We love it. But it's not just us here today.
It is not.
It is not. We are here, season 2, ready to rock, and we brought our wonderful friend Waddle.
Yes, Waddle is here.
Oh, I get applause too.
Oh, the audience
Of course. The audience, they love you. Your reputation precedes you.
Thank you.
Yes. Oh, we love it. Thank you for coming on.
First guest of season 2 as well.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
No, we weren't playing around.
We're gonna set it up.
A lot of pressure.
Right.
No.
Yes, please. The other guests better live up to you.
Yes.
They got to worry about
You were setting the bar in the
Exactly.
stratosphere.
I like it. First out the gate. I'm here for it. Let's go.
First out the gate. We're so happy to have you here. What are we going to be doing? We're going to be talking.
We on a podcast?
On the
Talking on a
podcast.
podcast. I've never heard of that
Revolutionary. Yeah, we're going to be talking.
one. Florals in spring.
Florals in spring. Exactly that level. But, Waddle, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh my God, I hate this.
Oh, no. Not the elevator
Not
pitch.
the elevator
Not
pitch.
the elevator
Waddle
pitch.
Who is Waddle?
Who is Waddle?
I am a creative. I am a Black woman.
Yes.
I am a queer Black woman.
Hell
Yes.
And a clown.
Yes, I love that.
You gotta be.
I wish we had a clown nose.
Honestly, I think trauma makes you funny. So
I
if
wish-
you start listing all these things, like, you're going to be hilarious.
Oh
so I was
my
like,
God.
clown.
I
If
wish
you're
we
not
had a
laughing.
clown nose.
You're crying.
sound.
Absolutely. If you're not laughing, you're crying. And
Never mind. That's my attempt at the nose. Okay, never mind.
I wish there was a cricket button on the soundboard.
I love it. And yeah, I'm a friend of y'all, so
Yeah.
I'm a
Hell
big
yeah.
fan. So I got called in and I'm ready to bat it. Let's go.
For real, for real. Do we remember when we met?
Oh my God.
I know, because I was
Oh.
trying
So
to think about
long.
it today. It just kind of felt like you just appeared in our
Appeared,
lives
yeah.
one day. And I'm trying to conjure
And
that
I'm
memory.
usually very good at remembering origin stories, but I think, was it Kristen?
Wild. It was definitely Kristen that actually introduced us. Like,
Yeah.
actually
Yes.
sat us down and said, hello, hello, hello.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I swear I'd seen at least you, Rashad, at a few queer parties.
Yeah.
Running around in those cute fits.
Who, me?
Demanding attention.
Me demanding. They're
Demanding
offering.
attention.
They're offering their attention, and I'm accepting
And you're
gracefully.
gracefully. humbly.
Gracefully, of course.
It was there for the taking and you gave it. So I was always a fan. And then
Aw.
Kristen introduced us properly.
Mm.
And now we'll just be seeing each other.
Now
Yes,
Whatever.
exactly. Because when you have whenever you pop up is an actual
Yeah.
guest star.
And everything just elevates to the next level.
Yes, exactly. Immediately. Because
And-
all I remember is like the one time that we went to, God, what was that little bar? That was like, it felt like it was in a basement or something like that.
Yeah, it was
That
a
was-
day we saw Woman King.
Oh yeah, that was
Day we
Woman King.
saw
That was Woman King Day.
King. Wow, that
was
was
a
a
day.
while ago. I don't even want to remember how.
I could tell you how long ago it was.
I don't even.
Do you have that good a memory?
I
You
do.
remember?
It was about October 2022.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
We all met in a dungy.
Yeah, a little,
It was a bit dodgy, I
dungy
won't lie. I was
basement.
like, how did we end up in this basement?
Basement.
Stop.
Friday the 13th, and guess who's playing Jason?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I thought you were Team Megan.
I am. Megan the Stallion, I love you. So.
I was like,
What,
we switched teams.
She said you should get up on your good foot. I thought you, because I could have sworn if we're going to expose people, now we're exposing people. Nicole was a retired barb, allegedly, but anytime Nikki would come on, she'd be like, my body is just,
I can't.
I'm not doing this. Like, it's not me. And then Pink Friday 2 dropped. And what did you do, Nicole?
I went for a walk. And then I started listening to Pink Friday too. And then the next thing I knew, I was running. I was that hype. I don't even know how it happened.
And
I just took
running
off.
is not a thing.
No, I'm actually allergic.
Yeah.
It was a medical emergency. I don't know why I started running, but it just happened. But I still maintain I'm a reformed Barb. I still maintain that. Yeah, because she has behavior that I just cannot. I cannot co-sign.
No.
Okay, guys, she's always had this behavior.
She
I don't know why people are acting like.
No, none of it's brand new. None of it's brand new.
None of it is new, but I like the music sometimes. But anywho, I digress.
Let's just say we all have our problematic
phase
phase that we listen to on the low. Do not condone me.
No, of course, that'd be terrible. Wait, who's your problematic phase?
Oh my God, I never stopped listening to Daniel Caesar. Not a day in my
No,
life.
me too.
Cancel?
I got into Daniel Caesar way too late. He had just gotten here like 2018. He'd already done a tour, and I discovered the best part. Still one of my favorite songs in the world. Like I cannot not.
Oh my God.
Him and her, I like that. Him and her, but
well, not the other him. No, not the him that stole her swag.
Yeah.
This
what
him.
was that? But I mean, is he really problematic, or was he just being corny? Because I kind of felt like it was just like he said like a corny comment.
No, do you know when sometimes someone says a comment and it reveals who they really are? That's what he did. Because he was like the quiet, mysterious artist where you don't know what his opinions are, what does he stand on. And then he said an opinion and you're like, is this who you are?
Oh, it's like, okay.
It's you?
You could have just sat there and ate your food.
You could have.
You really could have just sat there and ate your
chicken?
food.
I thought the chicken was
I was
lovely.
like, have you tried the chicken? It's
Do
just
you even know what
delicious.
chicken is? Your opinions are acting like you've never had good chicken a day in your life. But we stand still. The music speaks for itself.
Just like, oh my God, over a girl with a fat ass who would never look his way.
She's not even cute.
She actually, I mean,
I don't want to. This will be a generalization, but often they're not. It's just the attention that they're being given.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a good pick me was like, yeah, okay.
I agree.
It's crazy.
It's like missing the energy, though. My opinion of fat ass has always been it comes with fat ass energy.
Fat ass
They got
energy.
the asses, they bought it, but the energy never came.
Yeah.
So it's like, why are we even here? What are we entertaining? It's just
a
visual
fallacy.
without the full scope of the energy. It's
Agreed.
missing.
What about you, Nicole? Like, I'm absolutely gonna ride the boat of that one because like my brain can't think of any other problematic phase. I'm like, damn, I do love me some Daniel.
I mean, mine is kind of already revealed. It is Nicki for a big chunk of it. I mean, and then I think last season we touched on it.
Yeah.
Of somebody who's just problematic, but sometimes when their songs come on, I can't help but shake my butt.
Are you gonna say their name or you?
I don't know if I even want to because speaking of fat ass energy, and speaking of, they downloaded that booty on an app. I don't know. It's obviously not organic, but
No.
when I Am the Strip Club comes on,
Yeah.
I'm Iggy. I can't. I know.
She's Australian, though. So can we
She
even say, like, I have to shut up because, like, you know, every Aussie counts. There's not that many.
We don't got that many. You gotta stand behind them.
You know what?
And I'm gonna stick beside them.
You're probably the very first Australian, though, that I haven't seen exhibit tall poppy syndrome off rip.
Wait, what is tall poppy syndrome?
What?
Oh, have you never?
shit.
Oh,
Wow.
okay. Wait, I'll explain. I think it's mainly a New Zealand thing, but it's also like an Australian New Zealand thing where certain people will put you down for your achievements. Like, oh, I did so and so. Like, oh, well, there's a million people get that so and so thing. Like, you don't want to stand out, and coming from America where your achievements, they elevate you, they make you good. Tall poppy, like if you're growing taller than everyone else, you're more likely to get cut off.
Yeah, they're gonna cut
like
you down.
In the actual like a field, like if there's one poppy that's higher than the rest, it'll get cut down.
Yeah.
So tall poppy syndrome is if you stand up too high, people will put you back in your place because it's a group thing. It's not a you thing. And
Yeah, like they're not that great. I know that I've seen it when it comes to Jim Jeffries.
Mm.
People are like, he's not that funny. Or Toni Collette, who's a pretty good actress.
Yeah.
And people will be like, she's not that great. I will just hear it off
and
rip.
Nicole Kidman was like, oh, she's so Americanized. Like,
The only one that I feel like Margot Robbie hasn't.
They're probably like,
It's on the way, though. I think if she would have gotten the Oscar nomination, they'd be ripping her down
Overrated,
a bit more, which is messed up. But you were the first.
Really?
Yeah.
So they're just haters.
They're
Yeah,
just
no,
haters.
they are just haters.
Pretty
But
much.
see, the thing
It's
is-
a different way to say hater. Exactly.
When I first got here, there were a lot of people who were so down for tall poppy syndrome, but I've met a lot of Australians recently who have never heard of it either. They're like, what? I don't think that's true. Well, from experience, it is true, but just because it's not universally true, they were like, no, it's not true at all. I'm like, that's not how this works, but okay.
Do you know how I see it, though? For me, having lived here pretty much my whole life, what I notice with Aussies is if you are an Aussie and you are only in the Aussie scene, You can be like some random from like, I don't know, somewhere in the southeast. I'll use Frankston as an example, right? And I use Frankston, yeah, I know. Let me just, there's a story here, okay? So
we're
it's
listening.
not just Frankston.
Okay.
That's wild, right?
Yeah.
So I went to Boiler Room the other weekend, and we had an average time. Boiler Room, I think you got to know who's playing, and then you go.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, let's just go to Boiler Room because we all got free tickets, so we went, right? And the main artist that came around the middle just before the last artist was amazing. Queer, amazing. I can't even remember their name. It's killing me, but everybody's just loving it finally because all the previous artists were average at best.
Oh, yeah.
And then he plays. We all have a hyped, amazing time. And then they put on these two randos I have never seen a day in my life, right? Like mullets, basic ass Aussie boys, right?
Here we go. That's coming up.
And the crowd is lit and on fire. And I'm like, who are these guys?
Wow.
And all you hear of the mic is, let's hear it for our Frankston boys. And I have never heard those words a day in my life. Aussies will support an Aussie in Aussie spaces. So when you name those artists that have left the Aussie sphere,
That you're no longer Aussie.
that's
you're,
when
you're
Make the Tall
mainstream.
Poppy comes. They don't want our Aussie people, or their Aussie people, I want to say our Aussie people,
Yeah.
to be outside of Aussie spaces. But while you're in Australia on home and away or whatever, you're basically a god.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, everybody knows you. Every football player that I couldn't recognize from one person to another to save my life, they know and hold up like king and god. But if you go somewhere else and you're now one of them,
Yeah.
you're famous in those spaces, wherever space that is, they don't care anymore.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's the vibe.
Because you would think, wow, they've made it to this like pinnacle. Like you would hype them up even more.
And he's like, again, there's only so many of us. Like you
No.
would hope that, but
You'd think so, but somehow I feel like they get lost in the sauce now.
Yeah.
Now
Trapped
they
in the
look
game.
at them as just one of the others as opposed to one of our homegrown.
Yeah.
Especially if they don't live here.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're not one of us.
Yeah,
at
you're a
all.
full
That's how they
trader.
see it. Whereas I feel like Americans, everywhere you go, you're like, oh my God, Americans. I feel like Aussies are just like all about being here and growing here. And they will support you to death. But as soon as you leave, you're
That
gone.
actually does make a lot of sense when you phrase it that way, especially thinking about the way that they, I guess, build community and they connect to each other. They have what they have, and that's it. Like, if you leave, you're kind of gone. Like,
You're
you're no
kinda gone.
longer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
like-
a weird thing.
I actually didn't know that Jacob Elordi was Australian.
Had
Just
no
found
clue.
that out.
I just found
Had
that
no
out.
clue. Swore
Just
he was
found that out.
British.
Yeah.
Swore
I
up
also thought
and
he was
down.
British as
and
well.
down.
Swore
And-
up and down he was British.
He doesn't have the accent at all.
And I've actually,
No
as far as tall poppy syndrome goes, I've heard people talking shit about him now that he's into really big movies like Priscilla and Saltburn and doing Euphoria, and they're like, oh yeah, he's not that great or whatever. And I'm like, no, I saw Euphoria. I was actually afraid that this heterosexual man
air quotes.
was going to murder everyone because
Yeah.
that was some powerful acting. I couldn't watch season 2 because it just stressed me out. But season 1, incredible acting. Saltburn, incredible acting.
Oh, he's amazing.
I haven't seen Priscilla, but because I don't really fuck with Elvis like
Big
that.
chick.
Yeah, I really don't care about that storyline. But Waddle, you mentioned that you said you lived in Australia most of your life.
Yeah.
When did you move here?
So I was born in South Sudan, and then we moved to Libya. We kind of followed my dad around as he studied, and then we moved to Egypt. And then when I was 7, we moved here.
All right.
So I've been here since I was 7.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
Have you always just been in Melbourne?
Yeah, Melbourne. You know, it's such a weird thing, right? Like, people just identify where you're from. Whenever someone would ask me where I'm from, obviously I'm from Australia. I've lived in Melbourne my whole life. This is the most of who I am as far as personality. But Sudanese don't really interact with living somewhere like that. At least in my opinion, that's not how my generation of Sudanese interact with it. Like, if someone asks me where I'm from, I'm South Sudanese.
Yeah.
Like, through and through. I could live in a billion countries. And I literally don't remember South Sudan, never been back.
Yeah.
Was there when I was 1 and then dissipated and left completely after that. But I'm South Sudanese. So I'll be like, I'm Aussie, yeah. But like, I've never said to someone, are you Aussie? When they've asked me where I'm from. I'll be like, yeah, I live in Melbourne, but I'm South Sudanese.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, like, that's the culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am similar to that, but I think sometimes people ask me where I'm from and I say America, they're like, oh, but where are you really from?
Yeah.
That's one of the questions I hate. So I think when I say where I'm from, it's more where I grew up and I give those faces. But now I feel like, because Melbourne, I've been here for 7 years, it's the longest I've continued to live anywhere. So I say Melbourne is home now, but I grew up in the States. I don't know if I could say I'm from the States because, like, from California, from Texas, kind of both. And it's like a longer story than I would like. But I do get that. Like, you say where you're from, like saying you're from America, that was all stolen land. So because I'm not white, they're like, oh, no, but where are you really from? Like, well, okay,
Yeah.
cool. I wouldn't know. Tell me your ancestors have wiped us away. Usually white people are asking this question. So
Yeah,
it's usually white people asking this question. And it's like, I wouldn't know. Why don't we ask your ancestors?
Yeah.
But
it's like, I just want to say hello. Can we just like, two sentences or less?
Can we get to the point of this? What do you do? Yeah.
No, exactly. And that's how I see it. For me, I'd love to be like, I'm Aussie. But if I tell an Aussie I'm Aussie, now I'm going into the where you're really from conversation.
So
I'd be like, I tell you I'm South Sudanese. That's what you want to know.
Yeah, that's what they're asking. There's like it's like, why is your skin like that?
Yeah.
Just say that. Just say that.
Why is your skin like that? I don't know. I tan a lot.
The ozone layer.
The sun does honestly do the
here.
do. UV over 10 sometimes. And like, why would you do this? Like, let me just stay inside.
Yeah. It is what it is.
So I guess it's like the way that we say that we're African American. I would understand your apprehension to be like, I'm African Australian.
Oh, that's just stupid to me.
Yeah.
I know, you be you. Like, everybody identifies what is more personal to them. Like, I've been to a lot of conversational panels about, how you identify. And at the end of the day, it is a personal thing to you. I can identify as different to who I think I am versus my sister who grew up here exactly like I did.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine. But the way I see it, claim to me when someone says where you're from, I talk about culturally.
Yeah.
Yes.
And my culture has always been South Sudanese. It has always been, which, like, even when there was only 3 other families that I knew here that were South Sudanese, we were South Sudanese. And now there's 1 billion, I'm still South Sudanese. That's not going to change. That's going to stay core and with me wherever I go and wherever I live. Like, I live there, it's home.
Yeah.
But my culture is, I am from South Sudan. That's who you see, and that's who I am.
Yeah.
Oh, love that.
I love that.
Love that. And then just to get into a bit of what it is that you do, because we were making this the fashion episode. And we love the fact that you are in that space. Yes. Yeah. And just trying to give more definition to what fashion is here in Australia, because we kind of don't see it.
The shade.
I know. We're being shady.
I mean, I was thinking
I'm being shady. But you said it.
It's facts.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's just, I guess it's not necessarily something that you see in the day-to-day. It's something that's mentioned. But, you don't really see a whole lot of evidence. That's even shadier.
Ooh, Nicole.
In real season 2, we're going deep and personal.
We are going deep and personal because it's something I've wanted to define for a while, because I know that, we'll start here by what it is that we see on a regular basis. We live in the north side of Melbourne, and as we've said, the north side is just like a very casual, very relaxed kind of look that we see.
I like relax. So now that was her being nice, but no. So because there was the expression that Southsiders dress to look like they're rich and people dress like they're poor here.
Yeah.
So it's just like, how many people have worn these jeans? What is it ripped? Is it holding on by a singular thread? $4,000? I'll take 3.
Yes.
And like that's the aesthetic. They want to look like they have no money, and like they rolled around in like, was it patchouli oil?
Yeah, cosplaying poverty.
Yes,
That
cosplaying
is
poverty.
north,
That is the north, and like, the mullets.
Well, yeah.
That was a major bullet point on there. So I guess I suppose if one were to sum it up, it's just like, there are snapshots of like fashion here in Melbourne that is just like, it's been taken from the past. Like there's a lot of grunge look. There's like a lot of 90s grunge, which is like based in t-shirts, skater jeans, skater shoes, and then the mullet, which is
the giggle. Well, she could say mullet.
Yeah, which is like,
mullet.
Mullet. Because my gag reflex is really kicking in. I would see them every once in a while in Brooklyn, but it was always done in like it was done in an ironic kind of way, and it's like, how do you wear a hairstyle ironically? It's just like, I can't really give you the best answer for that. However, they are full surging here, and like the youth are really, really into it as well.
But in a sense, that is a resurgence to the past.
Yeah.
It's Australian culture. Mullets are very much Australian culture of a certain time in Australia. So they're just bringing it back. Like with the fashions coming back to 90s streetwear, the hair's come back to whatever, I don't know, 60s, 50s, whenever the mullets were hitting hard.
Yeah.
They've just come back, and that's what they're here now. So
it's super cool. But you would think that in a place where that is so isolated from things, there would be this level of creativity and just like kind of doing things on their own way. But
there is not.
I
don't know. The way I see it is like, right, Australia is an island, right? So what happens is, I don't think within this island that is primarily Caucasian, they have an Aussie culture. It's definitely not a culture of fashion. It's a different kind of culture. But in their culture, because everything that grew up and started in Aussie spaces and is now coming back or whatever it may be, is very like personal to Aussie culture. Things like fashion experimentation, pulling from rock, pulling from R&B, pulling from whatever field in which people create fashion. We don't have the cultural base required to build a really strong fashion sense. So we steal it. Like all good things. You know, if it's not stolen, you know, it's thought of.
If I don't steal it, someone else will.
Exactly. So in the sense, what's happening right now, which is good and bad, because, you know, if it wasn't stolen, we would have nothing. So they steal it from the US, they steal it from Europe, they steal it from online, essentially. You know, we're in an internet culture. And what will generally happen, and what I've experienced, you know, just visually, is it'll grow and start somewhere else and give it a couple of months, and now it's in Australia. Like we're just pulling it from other spaces, right? Sponging. Yeah. And it's not good or bad. I think at the end of the day, if that didn't happen, there would be nothing. So it gives people who may be doing it on the other ground, the one or two or three that just generally has taste and has always had taste and really cares about fashion and researches and blah, blah, blah. Now they have more people around them that are also experimenting. So what someone might see this one dude that was ironically wearing a mullet, walking around with a fresh fit, you know, experimenting, wearing this, wearing that, is running around the streets of Brunswick looking like a weirdo, I guess, to the eyes of the public. Do you know what I mean? Because when you're the first, you're a trendsetter, but until people think it's cool, you're a weirdo. That's trends,
absolutely.
Right?
Totally.
So they're walking around doing their thing, uncaring of what society cares of it. But now when this thing becomes cool, e.g. like cosplaying, what is it, homelessness, that
cosplaying poverty,
for a hot minute. Like, I'll say poverty, but like it's not really poverty. Because like people who are in poverty can't afford what you're wearing. So what are you cosplaying? It's a look. I want to look like shabby.
I want to look like I slept on the street for the last couple of days.
Like, but also my clothes are freshly washed and I bought them 3 days ago. So it's kind of like, are you really poor? No, you're just cosplaying it. So when that became a look, people now think it's cool. It's been validated in society. Now it's the new fashion. And we get it from the world and we pull it on ourselves. So for me, it's a matter of originality. Is lacking in Australia. There's the people who send trends and are amazing. But it's a very much a validation culture in Australia. Until it's a validated, cared about in the stores, in the magazines, wherever, people won't really jump on the trend. And that's why in Australia you'll see one shoe and everybody has it. You'll see one bag and everybody has it. And as soon as it's no longer a thing, you won't see it anymore because the next thing has come and that's become the thing that's been validated and so on. And this is set aside from obviously everyone else. It's just original. In queer spaces, you see a lot of originality.
Totally.
But if you go to our fashion week,
I would. Oh my God!
What a segue!
Literally, what I was going to bring up.
Yeah, that was my question.
Yeah, because I personally haven't gone to Melbourne Fashion Week.
Very sad.
Oh,
no,
really?
it's very sad because it's like at the end of the day, fashion should always come from original inspiration, innovation. The more out of the box you are, the more you should be praised, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Because I may not wear your whole fit, but those jeans are fire and I'll like play it out in my everyday look. You know, your hat, your jewelry look, whatever. And the point is to take these working pieces of art of humans walking around and like essentially like take the inspiration and make something for yourself. That to me should be fashion. But the sense is when we go to Fashion Week, you have these flowery dresses, these monotone clothing, there's no inspiration of design whatsoever walking the runways. And then you have all of the equally monotoned guests sitting front row with a sprinkle of 1, 2, 3, 4 people who may have built a brand, influencers or whatever, who are known for their fashion sitting there as well. And then you have everybody else who's there just to be just as monotone as anybody they see on Instagram or whatever they think they want to copy. And then you have the small pockets of just true fashionable people running around. But the people who end up on magazines to be like, look at Fashion Week, all the amazing style, it's like 10 monotone people and maybe one good person that's dressed amazingly, right? It's not what they highlight. So why would anybody go out and be eccentric? And anybody who does it, they do it for the passion. But if they're not highlighted and nobody sees it, all you see overseas in your TikTok videos of Melbourne Fashion Week is anybody who's of the standard basic ilk.
What everyone else is doing in
and
Paris.
what everyone
Yeah.
is already
And I could be walking around and see someone that's dressed amazingly, but they're not going to be put on TikTok in the standard validated platforms that we have for fashion in Australia. And where does that start, though? It starts with the background. The designers aren't innovative. Their work is not innovative. The stylists aren't innovative. It's the same people from probably 10 years ago, same people doing the shows, same kind of people
No
in the
fresh
shows,
blood.
no fresh blood. And the one or two that are coming up and doing amazingly, it's not an accident that everyone you know, who you also know has style, knows these people put on a show.
Yeah.
Because we're all watching it. Underground always does amazing. Last season, student fashion, they do this one fashion show for student fashion of RMIT, and they have all the student artists. They all get like 3 or 4 looks each. The best show that I saw, not just because of the clothing, the music, the crowd, the way people dress to come see them. It was representative of people who care about fashion, the younger generations, the people who just care about styling and are actually trying to be as innovative as they can be, came to the student shows. It's not a surprise. Because all the main shows that are supported and loved and given money to are the same old 10 people that do it every season. And every season's like, ooh, new pale color. Lit. Ooh, now we're doing pink on pink on pink. Oh, lit.
Color blocking.
Do you know what I mean? Like, color blocking is amazing, but can we elevate? You are a designer. You are the top of our field. Show us how it's done.
Show us something new.
Show us something new.
I wonder if this fits under the umbrella of tall poppy syndrome, of like how anything considered outside the norm is therefore something that needs to be shunned.
Possibly, but I think Australia has a very big problem of diversity. And
come on now.
That's where it really stems from, right?
Yeah.
You can't have people being different and bringing different opinions where everybody's the same.
Yeah.
If it goes all the way through the creative spaces. If it's the same photographers doing photo shoots for magazines, you have the same shit. Can I swear? Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Fuck
please.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Fuck yes.
No
You have
fucking
the same
children.
shit. Okay, cool. I was just like, this is Australia. We're a swearing culture.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, if you have the same designers putting the same shit on the magazines, you have the same photographers putting on the same type of nothing innovative photo shoots, you have the same stylists, creative directors, everything. It all goes from top to bottom. To the girls that work in the back room in the magazines, to the ones that book the front row, to the models that they choose, to everything has no diversity. So you don't have new and fresh opinions. You have friends inviting friends to do the same thing that their friends do.
It's an echo chamber.
Totally. It's who's getting picked to make the decisions, and they're picking somebody who they know is going to make safe decisions, essentially. It's just going to run through the same gambit over and over again. You have had your hand at a bit of creative direction.
Starting, I'm a baby.
That's all
I'm just a baby.
But that's still,
You gotta start somewhere.
Hey, you're still starting somewhere, because I was like creeping on your Instagram. You're doing the damn thing. But you also, like, I guess you've seen both sides of things, because you're a model as well, and you're a creative director as well. So I wanted to know, which one is more difficult, the modeling or creative direction?
Creative direction, 100%. It's the one I care about the most. And, you know, obviously when you care about something, you're like, oh my God,
It
don't
needs to
look
be
at me.
perfect. I was like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
if it's not perfect, it's not done.
Yeah.
Exactly. I only got into modeling because my sister Betty is a model. She's
Shout
a
out to
curve model.
Betty.
Shout out to Betty.
Yes.
She's a model, and Betty's always been like, her whole thing is diversity. She does it in her work, she does it professionally, and when she started modeling, it was for the sake of, you know, entering diverse bodies and diverse faces into the space, right? And when I saw her doing it, and I saw that she was always the only one, every show we went to, she was the only one, sometimes curve, only one that was of color, like South Sudanese or dark. And everybody else was just the same thing, same face all the time. So when she got into it, and I saw that, you know, she inspired me, and I got into it as well. And I was like, I want to get into it because I want to be backstage. I want to show up to a shoot and be like, oh, hi, stylist. I'm Waddle. What do you do?
Yes.
Hi, photographer. I'm Waddle. What do you do? And I wanted to build networks, right? Because ultimately I wanted to be a creative director, and I wanted to be in the back end. Being a model is great, and it's fun, and it's like playing a role. You're an actress, you know. There's such a beauty to being able to like play a character, and I love it, and it's so fun. But for me, I want to create concepts where I can bring in people that I feel like do amazing work. and then just like watch them explode and just do their thing. You know, that gives me so much joy, because then once they're done and I see the things that I put a little seed to begin it, and then they all just jumped in and threw all their colors in, just like, oh my God, the vision. I could not have imagined it to be as great as what they were able to produce. And that's what I like to do. I like to bring that together and play matchmaker and watch it all come to pass, right?
Yeah, that's
the
cool.
thing that hits me. Like, that's the thing that I feel pressured in. But, you know, modeling is just like, oh, hi, what do you want me to do? Smile? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome. Yeah, no, because I think I've actually even met someone that you've worked with, Lisa.
I love Lisa.
Yeah, they are so cool. Yeah, Lisa and I met each other in an acting class, but they are so dope. And then once we followed each other on Insta, we realized that we had you as a mutual.
I
They were
love
like,
it.
Waddle, I love Waddle.
Oh my God, I love Lisa. And do you know what I love about Lisa, right? Lisa, I was just scrolling through Instagram because I want to put on this shoot. I need this. And specifically, Lisa is a makeup artist. So essentially, when I was just scrolling through looking for someone to do makeup, I knew that the model that I was going to have in the shoot is a Black woman. And one of my biggest pet peeves, and one of the things like a lot of Black models experience here in Australia, is every time you're on a shoot or whatever, the makeup artist does not know how to do Black people. They just don't. And like, they don't have the foundation. They don't have like the color matching of anything. They put you in bright, and bright is great, but bright foundation, bright eyeshadow and whatnot isn't for everybody, but it also needs to be used in the right way. And if you put bright eyeshadow on no foundation, it kind of looks crazy sometimes, in my opinion. So I'm like, they just don't know what they're doing with our faces and our complexions. And I didn't want to make my model look crazy. Like, that's my one.
That's right, because it's an extension of you. It's
Exactly.
your work, because
Representation.
you're the creative director. You're the one making all the decisions.
Exactly. And I'm always want to have people of color on my sets.
That's right.
But I am not going to be like, you're an amazing artist, but you're not of color, I'm not going to have you on my set. That's ridiculous. That's
If
not
you
how
can do
I
the
work.
work, if you can
I'm
match
about
it.
your work speaks for you, right? And if you do people of color and you do it amazingly like you do everything else, you're going to be on my set. And I'm going to have a mix of everybody who does good work. And I was looking for somebody who does POC. And if I went on your Instagram page and you didn't have a single person who was POC that you did makeup for, I was just going to keep scrolling.
Yeah.
And with Lisa, they had POC, and I was like, oh my God. And then let me tell you, the day Lisa showed up on shoot, and they were doing the hair and they were doing the makeup, right? We wanted to do a change of outfit, and I was like, oh, I don't know what we can do. And then they were like, what if we add more hair to the ponytail and da-da-da-da? And the hair was already like, you know, those attached African ponytails that you put on, the false ones. Why did this beautiful, amazing person pull out extensions? The ones you get in Footscray for Black hair. Ripped it out of their makeup bag, and I was like, I know I was making the right decision.
They're so prepared.
I've never seen that a day in my life. I have never seen that a day in my life where somebody had the equipment to be prepared to do a person of color. No one told them. They didn't know it was going to be a sleek ponytail. They just had it in their kit.
We
were considered.
I love that.
And that shouldn't be that wild. Like, to be fair, it's your
the
job.
The bar is low, but
The bar's in hell.
But they exceeded it. It is in hell in every form of life. Okay? But they exceeded it. And I was just like, this is like, it gave me so much joy. And I was just so obsessed with them from that day, because I'm like, this is someone who not only is prepared for their job, but their job ranges all around. They're diverse in their opinions. They're diverse in their thought processes and the things that they care about in their job. And why is that magical? But it was. It's magical.
I know.
It gave me so much joy. And that's why I love Lisa.
I'm same. I love the fact that they just are so open-minded. And when I met them in that acting class, they were just like, I'm here to represent the non-binary community. And then I cannot remember this specific word they used, but they have a birthmark on their face. But they said that that was something that they wanted to present as like not something that should be hidden, not something that should be made fun of, but this is what makes me different, and it's something that should be celebrated. So I've really always enjoyed their mindset and wanting to push things forward and bring different things to the forefront. So shout out to Lisa.
Shout out to Lisa. Lisa should be backstage at Fashion Week. The
Oh.
world
All
would
the
change.
time.
But
All
why
the
aren't they
time.
is the question.
But I definitely agree with you with the representation matters and having that access and just feeling seen. Actually, I don't know if I even shouted them out this last episode, but if I didn't, I'll do it again, whatever. I just did a photo shoot in Brisbane with Joel Devereaux.
Oh yes, that's right.
And like I've known of them for a while because I worked in the queer scene like as a bartender, so I knew a lot of drag queens, and he did a lot of photography for them. And I was like, oh, I'd love to do a photo someday, but everyone knows lighting is the most important thing in the world. If you can't, like, I have dark skin. Like, if you shoot me and I'm smiling, it's just teeth. Yeah. It's like, I don't want that, but I want to do like a dark photo shoot, but also still be shown. Yeah. And one day I just saw on his Instagram, he had just a bunch of black models, and it was like really dark blues and purples, and like, you could still see their eyes and see their features. And I was like, I want to work with you, because that made me feel like I could be doing those things. So it absolutely matters. Like, showing up
matters so much.
Consideration. Mm-hmm. The lighting, even on the day of, he's like, oh, actually, that's not showing up very well. Adjusting lighting so that I would show up in every angle. And I was just like,
that's right.
I was like, this feels like a warm hug, especially in Australia. So
no, and it's so rare here. There's not that many. Like, just before I came here today, I went to my friend Lila Bennett. They do photography as well, and they had it in Footscray. It's with the Footscray Arts Centre. They had an exhibition going at the moment. They have popped up giant images of black people and people of colour. It's called Black and Blur. Ooh. And it's just beautiful black and white pictures of people of colour. And like you said, lighting, beautiful, just perfectly framed, surrounded by sheer blackness, but you are there and you are seen and it's clear. Yeah. Unlike these like other.
Yeah. Like literally last night we were like, oh, let's take a picture, and it's never the flash. Like, oh yeah, let's take a picture in a dark club with no flash on.
Cool. It's the care factor. It's the consideration, like you said. And it shouldn't be that hard. It's not new.
Yeah, it's not rocket science. It's actually not rocket science. It's just having the thought to be like, what is going to make everybody that's here celebrated, highlighted.
In the best way that they can be.
In the best way that it can be.
And that's what's missing. That's missing in fashion, and that's missing in style and everything.
I agree. It's a laziness, because it actually doesn't take a whole lot.
Oh my God. It's a laziness, but it's also kind of like, if a magazine will only ever take a photo of someone simply dressed in a basic outfit, basic makeup, no creativity, and definitely not a person of color, why would you take photos that are crazy with people who aren't of color? Or people of color. Yeah. Like, do you know what I mean? The market doesn't allow space for the kind of art and the kind of fashion that's required to celebrate others. They don't want it. So why would you make it?
Yeah.
So
I absolutely can't even argue against that.
Someone cooked here.
Yeah, someone cooked here.
Someone cooked here.
Who's cutting onions? I guess that's some of the positives of being in the internet age, is that we're able to see more that's out there rather than what it is that we're presented. At least on the internet, you can go and find different corners. And this is probably a bit different from the fashion conversation, but it has been so big and taking over. My girl, Phat McGrath, with
amazing.
Phat McGrath's amazing makeup, great makeup line as well, has taken the internet by storm right now. They've always had really great, imaginative, galactic kind of makeup that looks good on everyone. Every single skin tone, every single phenotype that walks through that door gets
phenotype.
Beat down of a life, like Asian skin, Indian, like everyone is considered and everyone's being celebrated in the right way. And they've done this porcelain look. I
thought that's where you were going. I've seen those.
Have you seen this?
And like, especially Brianna Tarth. I forgot the actress's name, but incredible. I was like,
the big woman. Oh, love her.
And the walking and the design, that whole show was epic.
Wow, like,
so
it's
beautiful.
it's been so cool, and it's outside the box, and it's different, and it's imaginative, and I love that the kids on TikTok have just been redoing it, and it wasn't even materials that are hard to source. It wasn't. It was just having the imagination, and then like the spray painting.
It's so iconic. The beauty of Phat McGrath. The thing about them is, they have been in the industry forever.
And
they're still innovating.
Still innovating.
Still innovating.
Period.
Still going out of their way to innovate. And that's the whole point of it, right? Just keep trying, keep putting things out there that you think, oh, this is different, I want to try it. For no reason except that you want to put it out there.
Why not? Like, experiment.
Like, why not? And it's crazy because it literally looks like the dolls that I grew up with.
No, genuinely. I was afraid. I thought there were actual dolls, like just like animated something or other. And then I saw them put the makeup on, like the little time lapse. I'm like, oh, those are real. That's okay. Okay. AI does everything. I'm afraid of everything.
Right?
Or like the time when it was like, is it cake? All of those things. Like,
it's cake.
Is it AI or is it cake? Either way. Everything is cake.
Everything is cake, yeah. But I feel like it shows like how starved we are as well, because that bit of innovation took off like wildfire because it was like, yes, someone's doing something different and creative, and it's so cool looking and it's accessible, so people are trying it out at home. I agree. It may be too soon to put the iconic label on it, but I think this is one of those things that it really truly is. I think it's something that's going to be studied in schools, in makeup schools.
I think the simplicity of it is what makes it iconic.
Totally.
Like you said, it wasn't hard to source. It wasn't,
Sure wasn't.
harder to imagine. But she imagined it and put it together. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
That's why I love it, because I'm just like, look at this. It's just like porcelain. Made it happen. Not as simple as that. Simple connection, not hard to understand, nothing too wild and out there. Just a pretty idea.
Do we have any other favorite makeup artists, favorite looks?
Moments at the moment.
Moments at the moment.
Let me think. The thing is, I love fashion, but my connection to fashion isn't commercial in the weirdest way. I don't know how to explain it, but essentially, I've been curvy, plus size, big, fat, whatever you want to call it, pretty much my whole life, right? And it's been this journey of, I like clothes doesn't like me.
Wow, okay.
You know what I mean?
Like fitting and feeling beautiful.
It's like feeling beautiful, but also accessibility. It's only now that things are even going up above a size 18. When I was growing up, the shops that we went to, there was nothing in my size. So it was kind of like you get the scraps and you work with what you got.
Wow.
Yeah.
So fashion has always been for me like a make it work. You know, is it Tim Gunn? Make
Yeah.
it work.
Thank you, mood.
Literally, it's always just like make it work. Look the best that you can look with the things that are accessible to you. So I went through a journey of trying and then hating it and then not trying at all, walking around like at the basics. You know, I went through a strong activewear phase. Okay? Strong activewear phase. Only because I was accessible. It was there, and I was so sick of trying to look good and feeling like I'm failing and like struggling to get there and still feeling like I'm failing that I was just like, well, let me just look basic. Like, let me try it all. Let me not try to express myself visually, because visually I failed, you know? And then once I started, like, you know, that always comes with like a personal ingrowth journey of who you are as well, and like accepting your body and da-da-da. And then it became like, you know, I like what I like, and I'm going to put it together in a way that I like, that makes me feel good. And then that went to, oh, well, now that I can know how to dress myself to feel good, now maybe then I'll try to look good again. And then it was like op shop journeys and looking outside of Australia. Like, I don't think I've gone into a shopping center in 10 years. I swear to God.
No,
like,
same.
it's just not accessible. Like, it just makes me sad. Unless I'm getting shoes and they need to like fit properly, I'm not going into clothing stores. I'm not going to Maya. I'm not doing it. It's just not making me feel good. And I know there's nothing there for me. So I'm shopping online. I'm going all the way. I'm looking in every country, you know, trying to find something to wear.
Real.
And for me, when I find an outfit that I feel good and I feel like looks good, but also speaks to me creatively, fashion-wise, in my head, walking around like patting myself on the back because you don't know how I got here.
Yes,
You know, this
the
took
journey
weeks
to
find
get
something.
there.
Literally. And that's the thing where I say fashion, like, I never watched designer shows because what am I doing watching a show where I'm never going to fit all this stuff anyway? So it was never something that really spoke to me. So I don't really have favorite designers except like creativity-wise, where I'd be like, ooh, hello, Alexander Wang, and da-da-da-da. Like, I appreciate it. But there's no point in me watching every show except for like visual excitement, in which case I'm on Pinterest trying to create photo shoots and stuff. You know, that's where I sit.
Yeah.
So as far as designers, I couldn't even tell you which ones because none of them represent me. I don't see me in it. I could never see me in it. So I couldn't even appreciate it as something I could follow. Just like beautiful art that you see, and I appreciate it.
I was going to talk about like the vintage game and the secondhand game here because we touched on it briefly because of like, I too don't necessarily go into the department stores and stuff to find things because a lot of it is just the same.
Yeah.
A lot of it is just like, it's not going to be anything different than what I've seen before. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything, but I do feel the vintage game here and the op shop game here.
It's top tier. I went
In
just
Melbourne,
yesterday.
yeah.
Like, I have my outfit for Victoria Street Pride tomorrow. I bought it all yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Especially, like, the women's section has the best clothing.
Yeah.
Like, the men's section is so basic in 1983. And it's just like, cool, another jersey from Austin for some reason. How do you know about the Longhorns? Stop this. The women get the colors, so it's this cute little crop. And it was like $3. And it was just like absolutely fully on board. Op shop all the way.
Yeah, the op shops here are elite. I love them. And they're elite because, like, vintage shopping is, like, it's more in now.
Yeah.
But it's like if you go to an area where it's not like Brunswick or like Fitzroy, it's cheaper and they have the same kind of, like, you know, clothes. Just clothes from everywhere.
And because they respectfully have no taste, the good stuff is just sitting there collecting
Never
dust.
taken. Love it.
It's just sitting there. It's like, this is a golden item. And everyone's just walking right by. He's like, no. Me and my mullet are going to go over there.
Literally, my favorite op shopping is in the southeast because ain't nobody, no offense, taking the things I'm trying to take over there.
Yeah.
I do mean a little offense. I will take that back. I meant that disrespectfully.
Respectfully, no taste. Oh my gosh.
Let me stand up just a little bit. I meant that. I said that with my chest.
Oh, we be swapping though. I'll be in the men's section going crazy on the shirts. So like, give me an uncle shirt. I'm gonna make it look good.
Yes.
Love it.
Yeah, no, but I think that's the best part about like vintage is like it's just like this collection of different things, and vintage pieces are just made so much better than any of the stuff that we have coming out today.
Absolutely.
Like fast fashion has really kind of chewed things up.
Yeah.
Quite literally, because you'll get something, you'll wear it once,
And it will dissolve.
it will dissolve in the washing machine.
Don't sweat too hard.
I'm not trying to wash with my hands now.
Yeah, for real. Like if you got some crazy glands, like it is not gonna last that long for you because it's just like the thing is disintegrating.
No, genuinely, I wore a really cute skirt overall combo to the Midsummer Carnival. I got it online. It was like $60. Like because again, fast fashion was like if it's bad, like it is $60. I tried it. It was super cute. The belt buckle broke an hour into us going.
That's right. Because I was trying to. Yeah,
You were trying to
I
and I was like, for the first like hour that it was a good outfit, I was the baddest bitch there was, and then that buckle broke, and I was like, "Please, sir, can you give me a dollar?" Because it was just my titty kept falling out. And I could not keep it together. But I ran to a drag queen, shout out to Vintage, who had a little safety pin because they always got their bags. They dipped me up, and I was like, oh, okay, back to bad bitch. So again, that was a trial. I was testing you guys. I'm still hot.
Yeah. We all got to do fast fashion sometimes. And for me, it's like the one-time wear things. Like one party, you want to wear it to, because it's not going to last.
No.
Yeah.
But what I love about op shopping as well is to be good at op shopping is to come with a creative mind.
Yes.
Like you really have to finesse. You be 1,000 things to look through. You gotta to find the good things. You have to be literally like envision what you're gonna wear it with. And
And like, what do you already have? What can you? What new outfit can this one top make me? With these one pants,
Such a fun little treasure hunt.
I love
it.
Absolutely.
But it forces you to have fashion taste.
Yep.
Like if you go in there and you just get a top you can get from Kmart and like pants you can get from Kmart, like cute, you're dressed.
Yeah. You're wearing clothes.
Your clothes.
You're wearing
good for
clothes.
you. But that's not what people go there to do.
No.
And I love it. They want to mix and match random pieces. And already you automatically dress better just because you think more.
Genuinely, I absolutely love it. And like, because I know not that we've been bashing Australian, like there are obviously some Australians who are like trying to do their thing. Like my housemate John, we still don't have a code name. He's like teaching himself to sew. So we're gonna go to Gay Times in a couple weeks, and we've just spent like the last few weeks just popping to op shops and just like, what could this piece go? It's like, oh, maybe if I cut this and stitch this, and like watching his mind work. Because like I like my outfits, I can put some things together, but he's like creating them. It's like I'll take this material and make this and do that, and just like watching that and hearing that process. I'm just in awe. Like I love when people have their craft and they're just so excited for it, and you see that light in your eyes. I'm just like,
yes.
I could listen. Like I don't understand half the shit he's talking about, but I'm like, I love this. Like yes. Like, and we asked me a question. I'm like, yeah, I think that could probably work. I have no idea. But I'm like, let's see it together. Like, but yeah, I do absolutely love like that creative mindset fully.
Same.
Well, not to bash Aussies. Like I think Aussie is the land of the mid. And it's not a bad thing. No, it's not shade. I swear to God, it's not shade. Like the way I see it, Aussies so like financially, most people are mid to high. You know, looks wise and like vibe mid to high at the very basic. You know, they're mid to high. You have fashion wise, you know, they're put together. They're mid to high. Like people do better, some people do worse, but most people are mid to high. Yeah. And almost every facet of Australian life, I feel like there's like this level of mid and average that's like pretty decent. Yeah. That people lean on and rely on. And if anybody goes above, they go above, and wherever spaces they're above. But it's good. I guess it's better than being horrible. There's some countries, where you look at the whole country, you're like, everybody sucks in general. You know? And then there's exceptional people that come out of those spaces. I'm not going to name the countries, but you know, sometimes you get there.
But hey,
Australia does mid to high. You know, we start in a good average, and then we'll see where it goes.
Oh, that's so funny. But it's not wrong. It's like it's like this is the medium place. Yeah.
It really is the medium place. I like that. Like they do one wonders with a pair of capri pants and a t-shirt. Okay.
I know none of this is shade, but it just feels so shady.
It is, but it's
okay,
just
might be a bit shady.
But it's still like the observation, but it's also like it's.
So I guess if you don't have like favorite current trend, do you have like a favorite shoot that you've done, a favorite creative piece that you've worked with or been a part of that you're like, I'm proud of that? Or if you want to plug any of your current things as well, like maybe do one of both, like favorite shoot, favorite film, favorite whatever. That was like, it just felt good.
Really good. I think for me, it was my first shoot that I ever did. So it was just like something that I did with a friend, Natasha, who's a photographer, and I had my sister Betty be the model of it. So it was just essentially, I wanted to make a shoot that celebrated curves. And it was really just, it wasn't this big complicated thing. It was just this red concept, and I created the garment myself. It was just yarn that I put together to make a skirt, a top, and just to make like something that just sat and hugged the body. It was basically taped onto her at some point, just to make sure it sat right flat on the body, because it wasn't about the clothing. It was about just the image of the person just standing there looking beautiful. And I think obviously it was my first shoot, so I'm connected to that, but it was more just like all the reactions that I got from it is what I expected to be like, oh my God, that looks so good, but I don't see curved people represented like this.
Wow.
You know? And people, I think, forget that you can be curved and sexy, like not raunchy, just sexy.
Yeah.
But also you can just be curved. Like you don't really, it's not all just about sex appeal. It's just like I'm existing.
You are a person first. You're not a sexual object to be acted upon.
Exactly. I'm just here looking beautiful in whatever it is that I exist in right now. And I really love that. And the reaction I got from it is what I thought I would get from it. And I was like, oh, so there's a space here to have this kind of art, this kind of conversation with fashion, I guess. And I was like, okay, cool. I know we're doing this.
Yeah.
This is the right space to be in right now. And I want to do more stuff like that. Like, ultimately, my core thing is I want to celebrate curvedness in fashion.
Yeah.
But I also want to do it in a way that's fun and creative, and it's more artistic. I don't ever see myself fully in a commercial space. I want to be in more like, this is work that means something space.
Yes.
So that's the one for me.
And it's so funny that we're only just now getting to the point that we're in the age of like body positivity, where other shapes are being incorporated. But isn't that what is more interesting anyway, rather than this straight up and down thin line thing? Isn't it more exciting to see curves and shape and color? Isn't that more exciting anyways? It's kind of crazy that it's taken us this long to get there.
I think exciting is very much based on culture, right? But it's also based on people. If you're the kind of person who wants to see other difference, who puts it out within themselves, they want to see it come back. But if you're the kind of person that lives within the mainstream and of culture and society, you want to see that. And people are scared of difference, uniqueness, and no one wants to be that one poppy floating around the top where everybody else is chilling at the bottom, to be fair. Like, it's a lot of pressure, it's a lot of attention. So I think we say that because that's our mindset, and everybody who listens to it is like, yeah, other is beautiful, I want to see all types of things. But that's not the reality of our society. And having grown up here and only really been in queer spaces now where that is the opinion held by most people, I would not even be in a creative space if it wasn't for the people that I met who are in creative spaces. Because I grew up in spaces where being other is literally the worst thing you could do. And you spend all the time hating yourself for being different. And then at some point say, F this, I'm going to go somewhere else. And then you go there and it's like, oh, come here, be different. And we love it, and they respect it and they celebrate it. And then you're like, oh, well, let me just see what other sides of me exist here that I've been suppressing my whole life. And it wasn't until I was around people that already thought like that that I started to think like that. So we live in these little bubbles where even things like no votes and Palestine and this, when I'm in my bubble of people, it's not even a question, it's a duh.
It's like obviously.
Like it's a duh. What are you talking about? Why are we even debating this? And then I go just like, a couple steps into another suburb and it's like, ooh.
It's like now you're in the minority again. It's like, oh, this is what it feels like out there. I don't like it.
I don't like it. It's not warm. It's not fuzzy. It's weird.
Mom, come get me.
It's literally. And it's just like, I think we forget that when you're surrounded by your people and you're in a space of joy and celebration. Just a couple steps away from you is a person who's trying to hate on you for the rest of your life. You forget. And you obviously, no one wants to live in those spaces. But that's the society in which Australia, let's not make a mistake, is that society. People say Australia's not racist. Australia's PC. It is corely PC polite culture. And, you know, I had a friend once who was from the U.S. who said to me, you know, I prefer the U.S. because at least if somebody's racist, so they hate you, they just say it to your face.
Yeah, they'll be very direct with it.
Direct, get out of here. Here, it's like smiley face, and then I'm gonna like get you fired in the background.
Yeah, it's like I'm just gonna call the police. Oh, I love your music. Calls the police right away.
Literally, we'll see you be like, oh, I'm having a party, just letting you know you're my neighbor, and then they call the police on you anyway.
Yeah,
it's a polite culture of your face says something and your reality, your expression behind is complete lie, and you're just in a constant state of navigating politeness. That's our culture. That's what I've learned living here. Like, that's the culture. And it's sad because it doesn't leave room for honest conversations and realities. And in our reality is no one wants difference. No one wants uniqueness. They're like, oh my God, we want diversity. But really, we're only hiring people we can have beers with.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
There you go. That's not
everybody drinks beer. What are you talking about?
Like, oh, we wanted diversity so bad. We want to be so
not like that.
diverse.
But not like that.
But not like that.
But not this or this.
Yeah. Because when I go to the bar, you're not the person I want to have a beer with. So I want you around, but anything
for the pictures.
Just for the pictures, for the little tick of numbers. But I don't want your thoughts. I don't want your opinions. I don't want your perceptions, and I don't want none of it.
Yeah. Agreed. So far to go.
No, absolutely not. Well, I guess kind of talking back to one of your questions, one of the things you said was outside when you met the creatives, that's when you were able to explore yourself more, and you grew up in a culture where being others is the worst thing in the world. How did you manage that as a queer Black woman here? Back home, I was like out a little bit, but I kind of had a few other queer people around. Did you have that community at all, or was it just like, what was that like for you growing up and then becoming the person you are now?
Oh, there's no community. There's nothing. I think I would say, and I know it's going to sound stupid, but when I first started exploring my sexuality and, you know, being out and being queer, I started it around essentially gay spaces, you know, more Caucasian, more centric to male spaces and mass spaces. Obviously, there's not really lesbian bars anyway, but like it was very much just going with my boys and having a good time with them. But even as someone who like try to talk to me, or I'll listen to the music being played, or look around and there's no one else that looks like me in the space, I hated it. I found no joy, no joy in my sexuality at all. I was like, well, maybe this is not for me.
Oh, no.
I was like, okay, hi guys, I'm back.
Yeah.
I just ran across the street.
Did you miss me? It was just, it was a test.
It was a
I
test.
gotcha.
The grass was not greener, and I am back to straightness, yo. It was literally just like that. I was like, okay, well, that was fun. Let me come back now. And then it was just a long time of just existing. You know, I'm bi, bi, pan, whatever. But it was very much like, okay, that's a side of me that I explored. It didn't give me anything. It wasn't like I stopped being interested in females and whatnot. It was more just that it wasn't a side of me that inspired anything. It was just like, oh, well, like they're beautiful. But I'm not inspired to exist in this space. I don't want to be a community that didn't feel like I belonged there either. So I just stayed in the spaces that I was in. And then fast forward a couple years, and then I was introduced to more POC, queer spaces. Even to the fact that I didn't know there was a difference between gay and queer until I was in queer spaces. Because I didn't have community. I have people that accept me and love me, but I don't have community. So I went by myself to queer spaces. I just looked online, there was this party, and I was like, well, you know, let's go. Let's do this again. Yeah. Round 2. I went into the space, and it was like so random. Like I walked in and it was shout out to Angel and Karina who put on amazing events, and it was like a Selena inspired. Oh my God! Were you there?
Anything for Selena?
It was a Selena tribute night, right? And I was like, well, this got to be a little bit vibe. If nothing else, it's going to be a vibe. Yes. So I went there by myself. I was actually on my way to go to an Afrobeats party, and I was like, I'm going to stop there and I'll meet my friends there. I walked in and opened the doors, and oh my God, hallelujah moment. I was just like, these are my people. I am staying here. It was POC people everywhere. Music that I could bop to, looking around, cuties everywhere. That helped a lot.
Of course.
Yes. And I was just like, it felt different. It felt warm and welcoming, all the warm fuzzies. And I walked around immediately finding POC people just to talk to.
Yeah.
Not feeling any kind of way. I'm a social person anyway.
Yes,
Absolutely.
you
But,
are.
oh,
You
yes.
are the very, like, when I think of extroverted, I think of Waddle.
Yes.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
But like literally, I was just like, oh my God, who are you? You're black, you're cute, you're nice, you're fun. I want to talk to you. Let's make friends.
Yeah.
Immediately, and I didn't even end up going to the Afrobeats party. I just stayed there the whole time by myself, making friends. And that was my introduction into queer spaces in Australia. And then it just kind of snowballed into where I am now of meeting people. And now, obviously I stayed. Now we're staying. We're here now. We're staying. And it was just a different experience. Beautiful. It was just like, for me, it was like I wanted to belong with people that I felt like I connected to on more than just sexuality. And I got that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's amazing. So.
Yeah, it's incredible how like something that was always in you, but it's just sometimes when you're able to meet other people and see that mirror image that you're like, ah, yes.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I grew up in Australia as a black person. I was the only black person in school with my siblings throughout my whole schooling life until about year 9. And then the black people came. They didn't want to talk to me.
The black people came.
Yeah, when they came to my school, it wasn't like, oh, hi, other black person, let's be friends. It was very much like, I'd been there so long, these are my friends. Hi, nice to meet you, these are my friends. We didn't connect. But then, like, also, I'm South Sudanese, so every weekend I was hanging out with only black people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had always these two split sides of my personality. I had Aussie Waddle and I had Sudanese Waddle. Now, as an older person, searching out for my own friends, that I have people who grew up in spaces like I did as well, where they were either code switching or from other countries and whatnot. So their personalities are these molds of like African and Australian, American, whatever it may be. And it's like this whole black person, but also like oddly white person. Just like, like all these different types of personalities that I feel that I've connected with people all around who I am and not just picking one side or the other. And in queerness, I wanted to be around people that like, I want to be queer, but I also want to talk about Afrobeats and You know what I mean? Like, it's just like little things you can joke about, memes and all the little things. Like,
the intersectionality of it all.
Yeah, like, cool, you like Beyonce, but if I make a joke about the Real Housewives of Atlanta from 10 years ago, will you know
Will you also get it?
Do you know what I mean?
A white refrigerator, honey.
Let's get you a home.
Literally. I always say, like, POC to me is people of culture, not people of color.
Ooh.
Like, you can be whatever color you're going to be, but, like, do you have culture? Can we connect on that? Like, and if you don't, cool, you're nice, bye. But like, if you can, that's the people I want to be around.
Yeah.
Thank God I'm finally around. And it's such a difference. Like, there's no code switching. I just walk in and we
Just
get
be,
each other.
You're able to come as you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get to relax with that because code switching is a full-time job in itself. And you're like, oh shit, did I just use personality B with with friend group C? And like, oh God, abort.
It's like your body's on like manual and it's just like,
You start grinding the gears. It's like, oh
no. Literally, like, we got stuck. It's wild.
This is a random tangent, but it's also like the people who refuse to wear shoes here. Ooh. It is just that I have never lived in a place where people are so committed to not wearing shoes.
Yeah, but the ground is so clean.
Is it though? It's
I think that was sarcasm. I think that was sarcasm.
Like, what is the craziest place you've seen someone not wear shoes?
Kohl's.
Yes, the grocery store. The grocery store in the city.
I think someone. It was actually a ticketed event. Someone was walking around without a shoe. It was an indoor ticketed event, and there was like no shoes. I'm like, but there's glass here. Like people are popping champagne. When people get a couple glasses, they get a little tipsy. Those glasses fall. Like shards, you can't get every single shard, and you're playing with your own health.
It's just weird. Like it's sticky. Are you okay? Like, why do you put on clothes to not put on shoes?
I just.
This want to be closer to the earth.
I mean,
the pavement.
We are
the pavement. I was like, what earth?
What
park are you
at?
Wake it up. The earth is fake. No, I'm kidding. But
Stop. We're not doing this.
Because I just got back from far north Queensland, and
I'm sorry.
Beautiful gowns. It was
nice
beautiful.
Gowns, beautiful gowns.
It was beautiful in nature. And then we ended up going down to Brisbane just to like check it out and everything. And there was somebody at the train station, heading to the city, no shoes. And I was just like, how are you? You walked all the way here? You walked all the way here with no shoes on? The grocery stores, train station, banks.
Ugh.
No shoes.
Bathrooms.
Bathrooms.
Oh no. I can't.
Yeah.
I just. Okay, see, I was hoping to find an answer, but it seems that none of us have it.
No.
There's no logical reason to not put shoes
I
on.
do have a question. Has anyone seen anyone that was not white being barefoot in public?
Okay, that's a good question.
No.
Because I have not, and I think that might be the answer.
Yeah.
The caucasity.
Well, to be fair, it's a culture here again. Why do you keep talking about culture? Australia is a shoeless culture.
The culture of poppies, I suppose.
The culture of puppies.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, I understand people like running, like in your yard, around your home.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
No, we're just talking about public spaces.
Yeah,
The
public
public
spaces is
spaces.
when
Yeah.
it gets odd.
Having
Yeah.
your toes out.
Stop.
Having your toes out.
Why are you like this?
Raw dog toes, just raw dog in the air.
Yeah, there's like a foot fetish, a collective foot fetish. that's
I-
being expressed.
So I guess with foot fetishes, do people just like feet in general, or they have? I feel like that would be nice. You'd want to have nice feet, and being barefoot, you're gonna have calluses and all dusty and scruffy
Yeah.
things.
But a true foot fetisher likes all feet. There's no such thing as a pretty foot to a foot fetisher.
Oh,
In my opinion, you know.
so they're just trying to put their shit on display in case they find Bay.
Or maybe.
Let me put this toe
Oh
on
yeah.
ya.
On your, in your, in around your mouth. Whatever you want it.
Till I make that pinky squeal. All right.
What's it
You
anymore?
know what?
Oh my God, all I can see now is just foots in people's mouths.
Okay, that was my foot. That was my foot hitting the table.
I hope it hurt. I hope it hurt.
That was my foot hitting
Nice
the
feet,
table.
Nicole.
Thank you. Thank
I'll
you.
give
See,
it to you.
I got him out today. Got him out today.
I'm going to keep mine covered.
But
And that's why I stand by that statement. A true foot fetisher does not care what your foot looks like because I have ugly feet.
no,
Ugly
don't
feet.
do that.
No, it's good. My beauty's in my face where it belongs. But
Listen, you are beautiful. You are enchanting. You have an entire aura
Oh my
about
God.
you, which
Absolutely.
is exactly like it is just like a bee to honey.
oh my
Yeah, when I see as soon
Magnetic.
as I see Waddle, as soon
Magnetic.
as Waddle like walks in the door, I'm like, this is where I'm going.
Yep.
I'm going right over there.
Oh my God, stop.
No,
But also don't, right? Hey, stop it. No, but what did you say about the light? You should call me a light, right? No? Okay, that should be next.
Oh, like honey, like Kalani?
Yeah.
I'll take that.
man.
Oh, yes, that's a banger song.
That's a banger. I'll take that.
Love Kalani. Love Kalani.
Thank you. I agree with you guys too. It exudes.
It is. It's just light. Light attracts light. No, let me not try and be scientific right now. But it's just.
Let's say energy is magnetic.
Yes.
Energy is
Pulls
magnetic for
in.
sure, especially when people are standing in their truth.
Their most authentic self. Like when you,
Your most
I
authentic
absolutely love that because like when you're as authentic as you can be, it gives other people the space to also do the same thing, and they're drawn to you to be those, they're the weirdest, funnest, wildest self because that's where creativity is found. Like that's where new things are found
100%.
and new ideas and just like, oh no, that idea is too weird. Do it anyway.
Yeah.
Tell me about that thing. Let's try it. Why not?
Every
And-
weirdo has another weirdo that will think that shit is amazing.
Absolutely. You'll be like, oh, I love that. And I'll be like, here, you could do this. And they want to add to your ideas. And like, that is just,
It's beautiful. I love it.
Oh, it's so good. Well, I feel like that's the perfect place. That was the perfect bow. Well
oh, I
done,
think that was.
Shai.
Oh, wait,
that's
thank
so
you. Oh,
good.
thank you.
Good.
It's, I've had some practice.
Yes, so
Are you
well
a professional?
I mean, we can say we are now. Like,
Oh, yes,
we,
yes,
we can
yes.
say we are now. We've done
Wow.
15 episodes, like full little
Certified.
pieces. Yeah.
Gosh, I haven't been counting them, but it's been great, and this has been such a vibe, Waddle. Thank you
Yes.
so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having us, for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's been so
Really
fun.
appreciate it. Do you want to shout out your socials?
Oh, yeah. Do you wanna
tell
plug?
the people where they can find you? You want to keep it? You want to keep it secret? It's whatever.
Oh no, I'm on Instagram __ Waddle WADDLE.
Gorgeous. And do you have anything coming up that you want to plug or just like shout out your brand things you've done before, just in case our listeners are like, oh, I want to learn more about this? Because we have a lot of Australian listeners. We started this to like kind of cater towards Americans, but 60% of our listeners are Australian. So
that's amazing.
if you have something coming up, you're like, hey, y'all come to this.
Well, everybody just spent the last hour bashing
Dragging them. Not
I love
all.
y'all.
Yeah, but I mean, but I think,
yeah.
I think it's nice that the people that are listening to us, though,
Yeah.
listen with an open mind.
Oh, yeah,
Very much
100%.
so.
Listen with an open mind.
I'm sure they're our people, otherwise why would they listen?
Why would
you
they
know?
listen?
Exactly. But no, right now, so I've had my little holiday break, and now I'm going back into doing more creative work. That's the plan for the year. I have a few projects coming up, but more specifically, what I'm working on right now is a bit of a queer love series. So if you are queer and POC, and you are interested in being a part of a photography series, reach out to me. I just want to, highlight a bit of black love.
Hell
Queer
yeah.
black
Yeah.
love, to be specific.
That'd be gorgeous.
Yeah. So yeah, reach out to me if you're in a queer POC couple.
Love that.
Shoot me a DM and we'll chat.
Love that. We look forward to seeing more of your work and just where you go from here. Like, I can't wait.
Yeah, I
Yay.
can't wait to see.
Thank you.
Onwards and upwards.
Absolutely.
Well, until next time, I'm Nicole,
And I'm Rashard.
and this has been Melanated in Melbourne.
Melanated in Melbourne.
Yes, man. This has been Melanated in Melbourne, a podcast that analyzes the Australian lifestyle from the lens of two Black American besties. Visit us at melanatedinmelbourne.com or follow us on Instagram to send us your comments or questions. Thank you for listening.